Hi, Jannik. Congratulations. I think you have shown a special respect for Rafa Jodar during the whole week. Everything going to the court to see him and something with the schedule and everything. So I would like to ask you why you have signed this water player on the camera. And I know you are improving your Spanish. I don't know if you want to let him to say him something in Spanish.
No, because maybe I said something wrong. It's not the case, but no. I look. I think a player who has been ranked very, very high beginning of the season and playing some incredible tennis. Barcelona winning Marrakesh, no, he won. So. Making final in Barcelona, coming here, making quarters, it's already a very solid player, and he is. I think he has shown why. He's playing very, very high quality tennis, and I think. Now, especially this tournament here, very young players are coming through. We cannot forget also about Blocks, for example. He's a bit under the radar, but he is an incredible player, and everyone is improving. So you need always to be in a present moment. That's also one of the reasons why I went to watch him. And him and also Joao. I like to watch because I know that they are going to be potentially, the future opponents. Most of the time, and everyone is a very different player, and you need to adjust yourself. Even though here is a quite unique place to play, but in the same time you also need to find solutions here. So it was a great match. I found a way through. I'm starting to get a bit tired also, so but in the same time I try to recover as much as I can, and then we see how it goes from the semis.
Hi, Jannik. You have beaten Rafa Jodar, one of the greatest sensations of this tournament. What a player you wrote. How did Jannik leave it from within?
How did I what? How did I?
How did you leave the match?
Yeah, I mean, of course, pressure, because I was before the match I was the favorite, but in the same time it's you need to handle the pressure in a very good way. I felt like the atmosphere was very fair, supporting Rafael, but in the same time it was very, very fair, and that's something what I really appreciate from the fans, and we were hoping for a good match, and that was the case. So when you're part of a good match, it's always a good feeling, and in the beginning he was maybe a little bit felt a bit of tension, which is normal, and but after it came out as a good match, I had a little bit of experience, a little bit more of experience than him in crucial moments, but it was a good match.
Hi, Jannik. Congratulations for the victory against Jodar. We saw you talking to him on the net for a while. What exactly did you say to Jodar?
No, I just said I wish him only the best for the season. Keep working, keep improving, and that's it. So I made just some compliments.
Jannik, you said that you're starting to feel a little bit tired. How do you manage pushing your body to the highest level and keeping the fatigue and the workout after the match?
Yeah, I mean, I played a lot in the last, it was 2 months, 1.5 months, and not a lot of days off I had. But in the same time, I try to push myself to the limit to see what I can reach, and it's never gonna be easy, in any case. So I do believe that I'm in a good position, but in the same time you always need to push yourself. At the end of the day, I'm at the court, I am alone. I have a great team behind me. They are pushing me, in the right direction. When when I get a bit tired, sometimes the attitude is not the right attitude, but I'm trying to be as good as I can. I think I have still margin to improve also from that point of view, but look, every day is different. Every day you feel in a different way. Sometimes you have pain somewhere, sometimes you are a bit tired and nervous and feeling pressure a bit more, and which is all normal. So I try to handle it in a very positive way and trying to keep pushing.
Well done, Jannik. It was straight sets again, but it looked very stressful for you on the court. I'm wondering if you could explain, what it did feel like to be out there, roof closed, seemed like it was hot, and also playing him seemed like it was causing you some stress. Is that true? And what was the issue?
Yeah. No, I mean, you have always some stress. I mean, you know that potentially the match can change very quickly. If one breakdown in a second, and there is potentially a third set, which I was trying to avoid today. And roof closed. It's definitely different conditions. Bit more humid. I felt the court was a bit slower and it was getting more physical, So I think just trying to get through, and then by winning the first set, you always aim to close out in 2, even though things can change very quickly and potentially there's a third set. But I made a good change, going closer to the return position from 5-all, and that gave me then a different point of view how to return his serve. And maybe I should have done it a little bit before, but talking after the match is always a bit easier.
Last one in English.
Hi, Jannik. Congratulations for the match. Good match against Jodar today. It's still early, but do you think Jodar could become part of a hypothetical Big 3 with Fonseca or Big 4, with Fonseca, Alcaraz, Jodar and you? Thank you.
I don't know. Look, I cannot predict the future. It's that what I always live, and they're all incredible talents, and being an athlete, you always have a lot of pressure, and my advice is always to keep the pressure as much as possible away from the press. And even though I know it's always gonna be a lot of talking, off the court, but at the end of the day, the player has to make, the step forward, and then we see. But that what he's doing, it's incredible, and I wish him only the best. But in the same time, don't push him, too much, because sometimes it's getting into your head, and it's very tough to get out, So he's a very, very good kid. Has a great family behind him. The father, he seems very, very humble, and he has a small bubble, which is great for him. And I think he's gonna make some incredible results in the future. There are always gonna be other players, new players, even younger than him, coming in a couple of years, most likely, which is always gonna be the case. But yeah, he has everything what's needed.